Happy morning, dear friends. Here's yours, Dr. Rajanta. Welcome to Demystify with Ajay. Dear friends, in the previous session, we understood what the manipulation of the data in tabular form consists of, whether modifying the entire structure of the data frame or performing calculations on the values inside. And of course, furthermore, we have also understood the difference between the operation of transformation or aggregation of data in a data frame. And dear friends, to this concept, we are going to further discuss about the useful even in the case of grouping operations. And here the grouping is particular process in which one or more steps as like splitting or applying and combining, it's going to be applied more than one or more steps, and where the first step, which I just specified as splitting, is based on dividing the data frame into groups based on the particular criteria. The second step instead involves the application of one or more functions, transformations or aggregation on each individual group independently. Finally, the third step involves the reunifications of all the results of the second step to regain a new data frame. Dear friends, let me just go into the discussion on group by method. Dear friends, this group by method divides a data frame into different groups, based on different selection criteria passed as an argument, as I have already specified. But a data frame can group by either by using column or index. And in both cases, the group by method groups together based on the selection of element with the same value. So kindly have a note of it. Here I am just going to create a data, that is a data frame. Okay, and here of course towards the data frame how it has been arranged, so kindly have a note of it. Towards the shape it is 6,3, so of course 6 rows with 3 columns, and here we have already specified with the index and columns. And to be added, what I have just provided is it has to be sorted values. And the first step of grouping, which we have already specified as like a splitting, based on the values contained within the given column. So here what we have just given is few column data is there, and we use the optional by parameter to which the label of the reference column is passed, and here we just referenced the column as like A. And all the rows that have the same values in this column will be grouped together. So it is clear that in the end we will have as many group as possible values present in A. So how we can just make use of it? So kindly have a note of it. We can also have a look how this can be processed. And splitting it into groups produces a data frame group by object that is not printable, because actually it does not show the content using the print function. And one way to see all the groups the data frame has been split into, and the elements within them is by writing a function or by using the iteration. And kindly have a note of it. Here this for group we have used to make the iteration functionality, and when on just executing, kindly have a note of it, dear friends. So see here, this one, a non-visibility result of how this is, see actually result of the operations of the division into group. It is due to the fact that is not the result that is expected from this operation. But anyhow, I just let you know how this can be done. Okay, see here, dear friends, when on just making this towards the above, so this is what the exact data frame. Okay, so I have already specified in the cell 2. So how this can be grouped by? So here we have as like A, B and C. Here we just have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 4, 2, 2, 4, 4, 3, 1, 1, again 3, 1, 4, and of course 4, 3, 4. So this is what we just got by making it towards the iteration. But in fact, grouping requires that a function is subsequently applied to each group implicitly defined by the group by function. So if we just make it, or if we apply any of the functions like this, and if you want to make it as a group by, so kindly have a note of it. We are sorted in the values. Here it is already specified. Here it is just specified as like we just done towards the A functionality. So how we are just making the group is, yeah, this would be the group 1. And of course we have the group 2 here, and this is the exact group 3, and to the last one it is what the group 4. And of course here I already specified the step 1 is by splitting. Okay, now before going on to the second functionality, I just want to make and apply a method. So here what we are just going to do is, kindly have a note of it. Here we are going to make a maximizing. So when we just use the np.max function, how it would be make it? Yeah, the same thing here also, but let's see the exact operation in detail, how it is possible and how it has been done. And yeah, as I have already specified, this is the exact step 1 we have applied towards the splitting. Okay, so the maximum values on the column B of the group having the 1 in the column A is 1. Okay, while the maximum value on the column C in 3, okay, in 3, that is what we are just going to take it as the second one. Okay, the maximum value of column B of the group having the value 2 is the exact third one. Okay, so now let me just combine this with the formation. So from this group 1, yeah, we are just going to apply np.max functionality, where from this what we just get, of course, A, B, C, and here we just get 1, 4, 3. So see here, among this 1 is the maximum, among this 4 is the maximum, among this 3 is the maximum. That is what we just got. And from this group 2, of course, there is no much functionality. So when we just apply max of this, the same thing, 2, 4, 4. That is what going to happen here. And when we just apply towards the group 3, the np.max functionality, so kindly have a note of it. Among this, yeah, 3 is the maximum, 1 is the maximum, and among 1 and 4, 4 is the maximum. So we just make like this. And towards the np of max of the group 4, yeah, there is no further changes. It just was going to happen. And dear friend, as you can see here, what we are just going to have, yeah, we are going to have a smaller data frame which is obtained in which column A is not the longer present. So we are just going to have us like 4, 3, 4, 4, 1, 4 and 3, 4. So this is what we are going to have it. So as it is specified towards the grouping, the first step is splitting, and the second step, it is all about the applying, and the third step, it is what? Combining. Okay, so let me just make this exact functionality in the maximum. Okay, so let me just apply here and identify whether this is possible or this is the same result or not. So kindly note, yeah, what we just got is 1, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3 and 4, 4. Okay, so this is how we just got here. And when we just apply towards the functionality on the other, yeah, we can also make use of the sum functionality. Okay, let me just execute and see what is there, the sum functionality we just have, and towards the count also. So yeah, we can just apply it any of the functionality. Okay, so here the np.max function which we have just applied in the fifth cell, yeah, you can also, the result which is given for each column, or the maximum value of the group for the column B and the maximum group value of for the column C, how it is obtained? Yeah, the same thing, we can just go towards the sum function and to the count function also. Okay, now let me just move on to the group method for indexes. And here I just want to specify one thing, dear friends, that is the grouping as well as by column and by row. So can also be obtained at the index level. So by specifying the indexing level using the optional level parameter. So this type of grouping is particularly useful in the case of multi-index. And yeah, where there are levels in which some labels are repeated many times and which can be used to divide the data into groups. And kindly have a note of it, dear friends. Here, yeah, of course, we have applied with a tuple of XA, XB, YA, YB, and where we are just going to specify it as like an index. And the next one, the same thing for the tuples with the tuples, and of course we are just going to make it as a multi-indexing on to that of columns. Okay, so when we just create this with the indexes and to the columns, kindly have a note of it. What is the multi-indexed data frame we execute? And then let me just go towards the leveling functionality. So see here, dear friends, when we just make this one towards the level 0 grouping. So here we are just going to make use of the group by level is equal to 0, and yeah, from that we want to identify the maximum. So here, what is the level 0? So level 0 here, it just comes as like X, Y and AB. So here this was the level 0. Okay, and towards this we just going to have with the X and Y. Okay, and with the X and Y, yeah, we have to make it towards any one thing from the above. So here 1 and 5, of course 5 is the maximum, 2 and 6, 6 is the maximum, 3 and 7, 7 is the maximum, and 4 and 8, of course 8 is the maximum. Okay, so again, let me just go on to the other one on Y. So here also, yeah, we would just get the 13, 14, 15 and 16 as the maximum. So kindly just have a note of it. Let me execute this and check for the result. Yeah, here we just got. So in this case, the rows with the same label, same exact same label at level 0. So here we just make it same label at level 0 of the index of row, that is X and Y. Okay, or grouped, and within the group the greater value is chosen for each column. So information regarding the second level of the labels is lost, which is AB, that is lost. Okay, instead we can apply now as like group level 1. So kindly have a note of it. Let me just go towards the group level 1. So let this cell 8 would be visible. So now kindly just have a note of it. If I just go towards the level 1, okay, kindly just see towards this multi-indexed data frame how this happens. So the same operation will happen, but with regards to the label of the second level of the index. And second level of the index, how it just make a, yeah, of course, information regarding to the top level label is lost. And it is interesting to note that in this case, by grouping according to the level of the indices, it is possible to group by column. So in fact, actually by also adding the optional parameter here, we have already specified axis 1. So kindly just wait. First of all, let me make this towards level 1 and then we just go for axis. So kindly have note of it according to this one. Okay, so what would be the maximizing? Yeah, from this level of A, it is 1, or this level of A as 9. So which is the maximum? Of course 9 is the maximum. And from 2 and 10, which is maximum? 10 is the maximum. And of course from 3 and 11, the 11 is the maximum. And from 4 and 12, 12 is the maximum. Yeah, to the same thing, yeah, we are just going to have the level 1 here, and with the maximum of B and to the B in Y. Okay, so that is what we are just going to apply in level 1. So let me just see the output here. So see here. So what we just got, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is how we just can get it by maximum of this group by functionality. And of course, yeah, as I have already specified, we can also add the optional parameter axis 1. So more columns with the same label are grouped together. Okay, let me just apply towards the level 0 functionality. So see here, 9, the cell 9, which it just has level 0 and towards maximum. But here we are going to add axis 1 now. So in this axis 1, what we are just going to have, so according to this, when we apply axis 1, kindly just to see the resultant. So it is furthermore functionality related to the X and Y column. So here axis 1 is specified towards the column. So previously we have just done towards the index, and this one it is towards the column functionality. So yeah, let me apply on to the next also with the same level 1 and axis 1. Kindly just observe here. Yeah, it is the one according to the column wise. And dear friend, in this example, we have directly used the np.sum function of the numpy. Okay, so that is the exact numpy library to make it easier to understand how grouping works, and particular for the splitting phase. In general, actually, however, any type of functions can be applied to grouping. Therefore, techniques such as the transformation and aggregation that we have seen previously enter into this regard. So these are operations that can be used in conjunctions with grouping. So in fact, let me just make use of the aggregation function. Okay, so in fact the methods as like apply or transform and aggregation can be used in conjunction with the group by functionality, and depends on which techniques is used, yeah, you will get very different result. And kindly have a note of it. Let me just make use of this group by with the transform. So by applying the transform method in conjunction with grouping, we get a data frame that has the same number of rows as the original data frame. Okay, while as far as the columns are concerned, they will be one less. Okay, so kindly have a note of it how this comes here. So yeah, this A that has been grouped by according to A, yeah, with the transformation, the value contained in column A have been lost. They only served to subdivide into computational group. So the result obtained by the group were then assigned to every single row according to their belonging groups. So in fact, there are lines with identical result. Okay, now let me just apply the aggregation method in conjunction with the group by functionality. So group by method, so results in one row for each group. So kindly have a note of it. So one row for each group, and while with regard to the columns, there will be one less, that is column A has been the index of the new data frame. Column A would be the index here. And although, see, actually the same np.sum, that is what the function have been applied, and the result obtained are significantly different between the transformation and here aggregation. So in fact, the aggregation necessarily produce a smaller result. The number of rows will now corresponds to the existing group, while for the other columns, the aggregation function replaces the different value with a single value, that is the result. Inversely, from the case of transformation, it is the index label of the original data frame that are no longer present, and since in the new system they have lost their meaning. So while the value of the column A have become the new label. Okay, now let me just move on to the apply method. So kindly have a note of it, dear friends. As far as the grouping is concerned, a method can be applied outside the system of aggregation and transformation. And here this apply method, okay, so with apply method in conjunction with the group by method, what we just get is one row for each group as a result. So kindly have a note of it. Let me execute here what we just get. So yeah, we are able to see that is in this case the result is still different. Okay, as far as column A is concerned, we have the same behavior as the aggregation with the conversion of its value into index label. Kindly have a note of it. But we therefore have an aggregation that has led to the reduction of data frame to only 4 lines each of each group. But at the same time, there are some difference such as column A, which still remained as such in the data frame and whose values are the result of the aggregation, that is sum of, such as column B and C. Okay, next, dear friends, let me just move on to the next concept, categorization. See, an operations that may come in handy during the analysis of data frame is to categorize the row within it, dividing them into different categories of belonging, or as like we just say the classes. Okay, so the categorization is explicitly implemented in the Pandas library, which provide a series of objects and methods that perform it in an extremely controlled manner by the user. Okay, now let me just create a simple data frame to better understanding the categorization. And yeah, as usual, the shape is 3, 3 and towards the index and the column, a very simple thing. Okay, and here, yeah, one way to implement them in a data frame is to choose a column with a series of value. So values that is repeated over and over again between the various rows. Okay, so that can somehow express the different categories of belonging. If this column does not exist, a new one can still be created with the element appropriately valued. So let me just see, actually in this example case, yeah, having no columns in the data frame. Okay, so with information that helps us identifying the categorization of belonging of the rows. Okay, so we can provide a new column with values of belonging categories that we have somehow evaluated externally. Okay, so to create a category column, we use the categorical constructor as input, a list or even a series it can be. Okay, so here let me just make it as like a list. Okay, and is inserted in which there are the values of the categories corresponding in the various line. Okay, and then 2 more optional parameters are added. So the categories in the list may not be all possible, and also often the categories have an order or a hierarchy. So in the categories parameter, we insert a list with all possible categories, that is in the thing which we just make here. Yeah, these all the categories to which we be able to do it. Okay, and if these categories have a hierarchy or a precise order, so then we will set the ordered parameter to be true. So here I have just specified ordered to be true. Okay, by default it is false. Okay, so now let me just create, and yeah, the newly created category object. So kindly have a note of it. Newly created categorical object is then assigned to the column with a non-existent label to create a new one. Okay, so that is what here it is specified, that is the cat as the exact label. And yeah, how it is able to see, this is how it happened. And to check if the column belongs to a category and what is order is, yeah, we first specify the cat attribute. That is what here it is specified, the cat attribute, and then we call the as ordered. Okay, as ordered method. And when we just make use of this, yeah, we are just going to have this indices, that is ABC, which is in the lower, and of course the category functionality, that is the 4, 1 and 4, of course. Okay, so let me just have a look onto this. See here, yeah, this is how. So as we can see, the data type here of the column is category. The data type is category, and then the correct order of all possible category is also shown, even if they are not present in the data frame. Okay, here it is already presented, which is the exact order categorized. And at this point, having consolidated the fact that the data frame has a column of categories, you can sort this value or sort its value within it according to the hierarchical scale of the categories. So we then use the short value method. Okay, so let me just apply that short value method and kindly see here, short value method by the category. Okay, and yeah, let I execute it. See here how it happens. So according to the category 1 and 4, and here it is again 4. So grouping can also be used in the case of categories. A useful applications in categorization is knowing how many rows in the data frames belongs to each category. So that is also can be applied by using the size. Okay, so here let me just make it. So see here, in the category 1 we have 1 data, in the category 4 we have 2 data. So size of. Okay, so that is also much useful here. And yeah, dear friends, so far we have created a new column to specify categories in a data frame. But as mentioned earlier, there may already be a column that has suitable values to express the categories. So in this case, we proceed in this way actually. See, let's modify the data frame, assuming it's already has a 4th column in which they are the values suitable for expressing. Okay, so categories like that. So here, if we just have like the categories like this, okay, how it happens. Okay, so I just want to make it towards some changes here. Okay, therefore have a category column that contains the categories to which each row it is belonging. So first let we need to change the data type of the column, turning it into category, and let we just move on to the further. So for that, as type, that is AS type, okay, we have to use it, and of course we have to set it for the categories. And yeah, then if as in this previous case the categories have an order, you can specify the series of the categories with their order by using the set categories. And here it is also specified, the set categories method, and launching it from the cat attribute. So here this is the attribute. The first argument of the method will be the list containing the ordered sequence of the category, and the second it would be the one which we are just making ordered is equal to true. So if we just do so kindly have a note of it, how it have been. And now if you can sort the rows by category by using the short value method. And now check for the one. So here, this is what the shorted one. Yeah, dear friend, in the session we acquired all the necessary knowledge to be able to fully use the features provided by the Pandas to operate on its tabular structured data, that is the data frame. And yeah, dear friends, I hope you found this video helpful and insightful. If you are interested in diving deeper into the topic discussed, yes, I have provided the code used in this video in the description. And dear friends, yeah, I strive to provide a value content to my viewers. I appreciate your support and engagement with my channel. So if you enjoyed this video, please like the video And for any further clarification or any improvements, kindly just provide it in the command and kindly share it with others who might benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated with latest uploading. Happy learning, dear friends. Thank you.